Legal aspects of tourism and hospitality. I am Malapitan Patricia May, taking a Bachelor of Science in Tourism Management, Section 2A. So, International Consumer Law. It involves all of the regulation and statutes that seek to create a more equitable balance for buyers in the marketplace and prevent sellers from using dishonest tactics. This law was proposed in the year 1962. This is the year when U.S. President John F. Kennedy gave his famous speech in which he set the foundation for the subsequent development of a regulatory framework exclusively dedicated at the protection of consumers, not only in the USA but also worldwide. Consumer is any individual who purchases goods or services which may be sold by manufacturers, wholesalers, or retailers. The United Nations Guidelines for Consumer Protection are a valuable set of principles that set out the main characteristic of effective consumer protection legislation, enforcement institution, and redress system. Furthermore, the guideline assists interested member states in formulating and enforcing domestic and regional laws, rules, and regulations that are suitable to their economic, social, and environmental circumstances. They also help promote international enforcement cooperation among member states and encourage the sharing of experience in consumer protection. The guidelines were first adopted by the General Assembly in Resolution 39/248 of April 16, 1985, later expanded by the Economic and Social Council in Resolution 1999 by 7 of July 26, 1999, and revised and adopted by the General Assembly in Resolution 70 by 186 of December 22, 2015. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development promotes the guidelines and encourages interested member states to create awareness of the many ways in which member states, business, and civil society can promote consumer awareness of the many ways in which member states, business, and civil society can promote consumer protection and the provision of public and private goods and services. Consumer is at the heart of UNCTAD's contribution to the sustainable and inclusive development rights for all. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals require the participation of responsible and empowered consumers if they are also achieve their targets. The only way to unleash the potential transformative power that consumers have in domestic and international trade is by ensuring a high level of consumer protection as well as to foster good business practices which seek the same goal. The publication Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals through Consumer Protection aims to provide policymakers and enforcers with a basis for reflection on the positive impacts that protecting consumers bears in promoting a more inclusive and sustainable development. This approach will help them improve the consumer protection framework while also devising and implementing development strategies. Equally, it underscores the close link between Agenda 2030 and the United Nations Guidelines for Consumer Protection. In turn, consumer policy is an important means by which countries can support the implementation of many, if not all, of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The United Nations Guidelines for Consumer Protection adopted by the General Assembly in its Resolution 70 by 186 of December 22, 2015 are the most relevant instrument for this purpose. Consumer trust is a crucial factor for economic growth and development. Therefore, consumer protection is a very important tool by which to promote these goals, aiming to empower consumers to stand up for their rights and to make informed and sustainable choices. It also enables law enforcement against rogue traders as well as providing channels of disputes, resolution, and redress. Consumer protection allows consumers to play an active role in the marketplace, which in turn will stimulate a more dynamic and competitive economy. Equally, this asserts the rights of consumers, either individual or collectively, and through non-governmental organization leading towards a more inclusive and balanced society.